Very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Tuesday edition of the show at the ME Adebayo. Well, tonight on the show, we will be talking about the Olympics. It's upon us. We will also be talking about things happening here on the domestic scene, of course, like the Prosperity Cup. We will also take you into the camp of Team Nigeria, let you know what's happening. Of course, we've been reminiscing about what it was in Atlanta 1996. And of course, a lot of people are talking about 96 and hoping that we will surpass what we achieved in Atlanta 1996. So we'll be talking about some of the things that has been done to link this present Team Nigeria to 96. Maybe the spirit of 96 will make them surpass what they've done. All right, so let's start. Before I introduce our guests in the Lagos studio, by the way, my colleague Austin Okon Akpan will join us shortly as we go on. Let's quickly start off the show tonight by letting you in on the number of days left. We started the countdown, so we'll continue. It's 3 days to go. Paris 2024, the Olympics is upon us. 3 days to go, and of course, a lot happening with regards to the Olympics. And when we get to that point, we will let you in on some of the things happening. For instance, the International Olympic Committee says these Olympics will surpass all other events that have been hosted before that. All right, let me just quickly introduce our guest in the Lagos studio. We're going to start the show a bit differently tonight. Of course, we have a rare gem on our hands. We have someone you're going to see a lot of in the future, and you have the pleasure of seeing her with us tonight. I have with me Bisola Ogunkolade. She's a tennis player, and of course, a lot has been written and said about her, and so we're very happy to have her. But Bisola, greetings to you. Thanks for being with us on the show.
Thank you for having me. Good evening.
All right, let me throw this in, then I'll bring my colleague in. I asked you before we came on set, because I'm intrigued, and I'm going to ask you, a lot of Nigerians are listening to you. How did it all start? Most people, we look at girls, there are some traditional sports people say girls do, but tennis, why tennis?
My journey all started when I was 5 in Zaria, when my dad serves as a military officer in Zaria. And I just usually watch this show on CNN, Open Call. It was actually for the Williams sisters.
Yes.
And from there, as a little child, I just got my interest in it and told my daddy, Daddy, I want to play this sport. I really like it, and I got interested in it. Yeah.
All right.
That's it.
Interesting. Very good beginning. All right, like I said, my colleague Austin Okonakwan, suited and ready, and of course he joins us now. Greetings, Austin. It's good to go on this ride again tonight.
Very greetings to you, Yemi, and of course everyone joining us on the show tonight. Good to have Bisola come talk to us about the importance of catching them young, grassroots tennis development. So let me just get quickly into the conversation. Bisola, good to have you on the show. How challenging is it for you to be playing tennis at such an early age?
Okay. It's not challenging. I started when I was 5. My dad brought me up and is still my coach. He has been supporting me, even though when I've been through ups and downs, lost a lot of matches. And I've always been told that failure is a part or a way that leads me to success. And in anything I'm going to do, my mind should just be ready that I could do this thing and I should not just give up. Yeah, that's it.
I love it, Bisola. You started at 5. That's amazing. And now you are 13. Do you know you already have 8 years of practical tennis experience? Tell me, what's your memorable moment playing tennis?
My memorable moment playing tennis. It was when I played this national tournament called Adewale Issa, and for the first time, I actually was in the semi-final of under 12 in Lagos, and I was just so happy that I could get to that stage at a very tender age, and that's like my memorable moment in tennis. Yes.
Okay, all right. That's interesting, but let me jump in the conversation. How many of your peers, sometimes it could be lonely when you're in a sports where you don't really see people to match up with. Um, do you have a lot of your peers who play tennis with you that you probably go to competitions together, see each other at events? You have people of your age category?
Yes, I do. We usually meet basically in tournaments
Mm-hmm.
because where I train, there are not lots of junior players there. So like when I go to tournaments, I meet my mates
Mm-hmm.
and we just relate. I just like that.
I'm taking this from my colleague because I know he's probably going to be the next thing we ask. So let me get ahead of him. So, how do you balance it? I asked you off camera, do you go to a regular school? Because I was thinking, for somebody who's on the road, playing competitions here or there, how do you manage to still have that? So, since I know you go to regular school, you told me that already. So, how has it been? Your love for the game, tennis, and your education, does it clash or does it blend perfectly?
Um, my it doesn't actually give me a challenge because I have like a program with my school that anytime I'm not around, they always like I always get back and they always go over what they have been taught, and it doesn't actually clash. Doesn't because I've always planned my movements, what I'm going to do the next day, and what I'm going to do, so it doesn't actually clash. Yeah, it just be balanced and yeah. And I actually have a lesson teacher who comes to tutor me if I'm not around, or I just do online classes anytime I'm out, yeah, of school.
So, none of both suffers.
Mm, I think my education just has like less time, but I'm trying to balance them together to like make sure they go together.
All right, that's good to hear. Let me yield to my colleague who has a few
Yeah.
more questions.
Bisola, I love your experience already, and you are a testament that when we catch young people young, they can actually go on to, play sports for a long time. Who is your role model in tennis? And you have to tell me why.
Okay, my role model is actually they are the Williams sisters, and because when they just created a path to for African children and black race all over the world that they could be anything no matter where they come from. Likewise, on Jaba, she's an African and she's at the top level and she's doing well. And I just feel that every African child out there could be whatever they feel they could achieve. Yes, that's what I
I
say.
love it. I love it. And sports has actually got the power to transform lives. And just speaking to you, I'm already proud of you and everything you've achieved playing tennis. But our administrators, Bisola, they're not really giving tennis the sort of attention that we want them to give to it. So, with your experience on the field, what do you want to say to them? I know they are watching because they can see you now. You started playing tennis at 5. Mommy and daddy, they've been supportive. But those administrators, what do you want to tell them, particularly ways that they can support tennis?
I just want to tell well-meaning Nigerians all over the world, companies, individuals, government, that they should support me and others. They should support us that we are the champions. We can do anything. That they should just make sure that we achieve what we can and support other children out there so we can make Nigeria proud, we can make Africa proud, and we should show the world that we are what we are made of. Yeah, that's basically what I have to say. I just want you guys to support me, support other children, and you guys will see the outcome of everything you guys have put your yes.
It. I love it. I'm so proud of you already. Stay focused, keep winning. The sky is just your starting point. Someday I want to cover you at the international circuit playing tennis and bringing joy, glory, and pride to Nigeria. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Bisola, for coming on the show. I'll hand you over to Yemi in Lagos.
Thank
All right,
you.
all right, Bisola. Just one more from me before we let you go. And similar to the question my colleague Austin asked you just now, you've told us about your role model. But what are the things you aspire to? What are the things you like? Okay, I want to do this, maybe a few Grand Slam titles here and there, some competitions, prestigious competitions here and there that you would love to say, okay, I've won this, I've done that. Do you have any of those things in your mind?
Yeah, I do. I actually want to play at the Olympics,
Okay.
get to a final of the Grand Slam, and win it for African children. And I also want to become world part of the world 10 in the world, become an African number one, just basically win a Grand Slam final. That's what I just want to do, and just make sure that other African children are watching me out there and know that they have an older role model that has achieved what she wants to achieve. Yeah, that's basically it.
All right, basically, Bisola is telling us she wants to be a pathfinder, trailblazer, and of course, the fact that she can imagine it means it can happen. All right, Bisola, I want to thank you for your time on the show. Hopefully, when next we'll call upon you, you'll probably be here to celebrate something with us. So, very good to have you with us. All right, we're going to take a breather. We're going to go to Bielsa and, of course, take you through some of the things happening in Bielsa. We've been waxing lyrical about the Prosperity Cup, and of course, we have a winner in the Prosperity Cup. A lot of good things happening right there in Bielsa, and of course, critical stakeholders having their say in that as well. So we allow you to enjoy some pictures and also take some reactions. And of course, when we return from the timeout, Kehinde Idris will join us. And of course, we will be talking about every other thing in the amazing money-spinning world of sports.
A lot of improvements with, from what I saw the last edition in 2023. Most importantly, the female version of the competition. Because we at the Nigerian Football Federation, we are doing our best to see how we can encourage more of women football. That is why we are back. We have already bring back CAF training coaches training program back to Nigeria after 8 years, and we have started with training our women coaches on CAF C license, which has never happened before. As I'm talking to you now, we have 30 women undergoing CAF C coaching training in Abuja. And this is the first time it's happening in this country. And very soon after the women program, we are going to commence the CAF C license for men. And then we go on to CAF B license, which for the first 8 years, Nigeria has been out of it. But we do our best to make sure that we bring it back. So I want to use this opportunity to call on the governor and the commissioner of sports to see how you encourage these young coaches, because there's no way you can produce talent when you don't have the skills to do so. So with this program that we're bringing back, these young coaches are coaching these young teams. Let us try and see how we inject them into this training so that they will acquire the knowledge that they deserve for them to do what they are supposed to do for us at the grassroots.
Looking at the motto for this competition, taking sports development to the grassroots, it resonates with the determination of the Ministry of Sports Development. I mean, for the first time in several years, we are trying to bring back to life our zonal offices across the country, because that's where to go. I mean, the future of our sports remains in the grassroots. The sports greats that we have recorded in this country haven't come from Ikoyi or from Maitama or from Asokoro. They have come from the hinterland. And I think they have come from competitions like this. So I'm glad to be here. I think that there is one thing to have a dream. The next thing is to sustain that dream. I congratulate and I thank the governor for sustaining this dream. And I think this will be a challenge for the next administration in the next couple of years. That next governor, there's nothing he can do about this but to sustain this.
All right, so welcome back. We've made a switch. Kehinde Idris has joined us, and Bisola Kolade has left us now. And of course, we're switching gears. And of course, just gone by is the Prosperity Cup reactions from that. You're going to see the pictures of the final in a bit, but Kende, just let me welcome you. We listened to the NFF president, Ibrahim Guzo, and of course, the sports Mr. John Eno speaking, praising the Bayelsa State government for the Prosperity Cup, the initiative, and of course, hoping to see more.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Firstly, before I go into that 23rd day of July 2024, Bisola Ogunkolade was here. And yes, I want to say it's the start of beautiful stories to happen in her life. And like you said, she wants to be an inspiration to other younger ones when she grows older. Start winning Grand Slam, being in the tennis association. And I wish her the very best. This is the way. Start at 5. I think you start very early. Then for the Prosperity Cup, I think they've done well, and it's worthy of mention. And you can see the cream de la creme when it comes to administrative level in our football. We're there. Even the sport minister, yes, he's not a minister of football, but he's a minister of sport. And this is a top sport story in Nigeria, and that is why it's garnered such attention. So when you continue to do something, you keep at it. You get better, then you get eyes on that, and then people start to reckon with it. And that's what we just witnessed. So well done to the Bayelsa State government. Continue to do that. And next year we'll be here again to celebrate it. It's always a beautiful pre-season, touch when there is rest and all. So many clubs look forward to it. And yes, I want to see more, especially coming from other states.
All right, especially coming from other states. And Austin, where you were around, and even where you are, you've always talked about the Prosperity Cup. Samson CSR Stadium has witnessed a lot of interesting matches. The final of this one was between Ogboinbiri and Name City. Interesting one, headed 3-0, by the way. And so, this is what we love to see. And my fear has always been, okay, if there's a change in administration, are we still going to have this? But now that we still have it, let's enjoy it. But it's laudable. It's something that we hope it continues, because the advantages, the merits, numerous to count.
It's the way to go. Yeah, I always talk about it, and the Prosperity Cup, from the first day it was launched, I liked it. I liked the fact that it was centered around communities, non-governmental organizations, those aspects that we used to abandon. And over 300 communities in Bayelsa State. The former governor looked at it and said, how can he curb youth restlessness in the state? How can he get young people to harness their talents? And then the Prosperity Cup was born. It's now in its 6th edition, and they are not just playing football. They thought about it again. Let's train the trainers. They looked at it again. These talents we are discovering, how can we take it further? They started bringing coaches and scouts from abroad to come and look at them. They said, how can we go further? We cannot just be playing grassroots football in these states, and the women are not involved. They promoted inclusion, brought the ladies into it. I love it. And I've been saying that for sports to grow in Nigeria, we must go back to the basics, and then there must be a will. That's why I love it that I saw the minister there. I saw the NFF president. See what Bayelsa State is doing. NFF president, no, Ministry of Sports Development, charge the NFF. What are your local FAs doing? Because some of them in the States, only a desk, book, and pen, and they will keep one girl there that will be taking attendance of visitors. No programs, no initiatives, nothing. Look at what Bayelsa State is doing. If we have this all over the country, it will contribute to the general development of football in Nigeria.
Okay, Austin, let me just butt in.
A lot of things will be done right.
Let me butt in quickly. You've got us cracking again, and it's becoming an habit of yours, but we'll take it. We need to go on a break right about now. We'll come back to talk about the things that generated a lot of laughter in the studio. This is becoming a norm from Austin. We need to go on a break right about now, but let's just let our viewers know that on the DSTV platform, when we return from that break, they will be on to Inside the Niger Delta with Mahmoud Akuga. But on all our other platforms, you will still be with us. We will still be talking about sports on Sports Tonight. Let's go for that break. We'll come back for more. All right, we move on the show. That's a moment in our sporting history that's etched in the mind of everybody. Even those who were not born knew about that period. And of course, a lot of people want that kind of era to be replicated. So it is no surprise that, of course, the sports ministry, led by the sports minister, is signing a deal. Before we go to that, quickly, just to touch base with the Prosperity Cup. Let's quickly listen to the governor of Bayelsa, of course, explaining reasons and the motivation for the continuing with the Prosperity Cup. Then, of course, we'll come back to talk about what the sports minister is doing with regards to the documentary on Atlanta 96. But first, let's listen to the governor of Bayelsa State.
It will be done. The raw talents of the youths of Bayelsa, from the girls down to the boys. You saw the talents in Nembe. We saw it in Ogwembri, and there can be nothing better than this. Football is a morning spinning sport. People earn in football more than the allocation that comes to Bayelsa State. If one of you become a world star, you will earn even more than Bayelsa State. And our idea is that one of you should become a world star. Two of you should become a world star. That is why we will not relent. We will continue to spur you. We will continue to encourage you. We will continue to give you the environment to bring up your raw talents and have those who can now explore your talents and then make you to be who God wants you to be. Make you to be the billionaires, football billionaires. Most of you know what Mbappe is earning. Now he has moved to even one of the world's most famous clubs, Real Madrid. And that is the level we want some of you to go to. What you have displayed here today, I am sure you will be exposed to the world. And our idea is to expose you to the world. Ogbe United of Ogbe 224. To close. The national anthem close.
All right. I think I'll just go to Austin on this one. I'm impressed with what the governor said. And it just shows that we have a lot to give to the world in terms of sports. They are yet to see what Nigeria can do. And I guess the governor just echoed what's in the minds of a lot of us. And I'm just hoping the administrators can create that platform. Government do theirs, administrators do theirs, create that platform, and just leave young talents to do what they want to do. And, the sky will just be our starting place.
That's it. I mean, that's it. Nothing to add. And Governor Doyedire of Bayelsa State has got bragging rights because look at Bayelsa State and their sports. I mean, I think from 2020 till date, I struggle to see a state in Nigeria that can come close to what Bayelsa State is doing with sports, at the moment. And that's a clear testament of his foundation. Don't forget that he was one-time commissioner for sports. And it was at that position that he got to understand the need for, grassroots sports development. So I like it. We're talking about Ogboinbiri FC of Southern Ijaw local government on international television today because of grassroots football. We're talking about them. We're talking about what Prosperity Cup did for young girls. We're talking about what it has done for young guys. They say there's crime. Look at talents everywhere. You're not doing anything with them. Why won't there be crime? I remember all of the talks they had about Brazil before the World Cup. When we got to Brazil for the World Cup in 2014, Yemi, crime rates on local media, the reported crime rate dropped by 70%. Look at England and women's football when they won the Euros. The level of girls and women that now got engaged in football rose drastically. That's what we're talking about. And I know you guys were laughing when I said the state ethics, they are doing nothing, that is just table and book and one young secretary to be taking attendance. That's the problem. So we need to get people now to say, look, this thing is serious business. Countries are using football to earn a living. I remember when I visited the football museum in Brazil during the World Cup, a day, that football museum was generating millions of Brazilian reals in a day from visitors. They are not kicking ball. They're just going there to go and see history of Brazilian football. And that's why I like what the minister seemed to want to do with Atlanta 96. Yeah. But we need to do more, Yemi, and the grassroots is a good place to start.
All right, since you talked about it, let me allow you say it and lead us up into it. I said there's a moment in our sporting history that we want to see often. And I've told my kids, I'll tell my grandkids, I just can't forget all of the things that surround, not just the football, everything about Atlanta 96 in our history is something that we hope to see. And I agree with the minister. Nobody should forget about this thing. Something should be done. And this documentary just, it makes me happy that the world will get to know, not just the younger generation who didn't see it like we did, but the world will get to know what happened in 96. And hopefully that will propel us to make Atlanta 96 our barest minimum anytime we go for the Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, you know, one thing I don't like seeing in sports in Nigeria, those laminated blue and white papers. I don't like seeing them. Because if you go to the ministry, you will see a lot of those documents. I pray it doesn't end in the bin. I pray we put words into action before we start losing our heroes and their labors get in vain. I went to that Brazil museum and I saw the first jersey Brazil wore to the World Cup in 1930. From Bebeto, Romario, Dunga, anybody's jersey and football boots you want to see, it's in that museum. So I pray that they can put together this documentary and it will be something that can inspire, younger generations. Let's listen to the minister, and I'm sure Kehinde Idris will take it.
When this idea was sold to me, I said, as long as you guarantee me that we're going to have a world-class film, world-class, because I'm sure that was the World Cup that we won. After this is about football, but it's about the most followed sport globally. If the South African people can use rugby to create what they created, rugby is not half as popular as football. So it mattered that this starts ahead of the Olympics. That same Olympics that won gold in 1996 football. That same Olympics. So that we have a chance to also appreciate how much has also changed. In that same Olympics, we have the football team, but the female football team qualifying. Thank God that they even qualified. And that qualification has come after how many years? I mean, how bad would it have been that the same Olympics that will conquer the world in football in 1996, we don't have a Nigerian football team participating. I mean, the male football team is not there. And there are so many things that this film, that this production, there are so many things that it will achieve. Tell our footballers of today and our sportsmen and women that we had a past that was as glorious. Let it be as a challenge even to them.
I think the minister was asking that it can't understand that we are not qualifying for the football event at the Olympics. And I'm saying, Honorable Minister, if you ask me, Who am I going to ask?
Yeah, me.
Okay, you've been laughing a lot tonight. I don't understand why.
I think Austin has found a way to get it. It's so painful the matter that sometimes you just want to relax your nerves by just laughing it off. And I think that's what happened. In his statement, he said, as long as you can assure me that it's going to be a world-class film. Assuring you is not the work. You monitoring the assurance given to you is the work. You put a team on whoever, the setup that is going to do this documentary. If you want that kind of assurance, you won't just sit and say, whenever it's ready, it's ready. No. Let them continue to give you day-to-day, week-to-week report on how the film is going. Go and check everybody, who's got this documentary or a club or something. They don't just tell one team, do us a documentary, give me world class. No, they know there is a monitor.
And one of the things I said off camera is those big nations go to events with success in mind, one, and two, they plan for all of these things.
And they've already
a lot of interviews, a lot of things.
Along the way.
Yes. Just like we're talking about Michael Jordan's last dance.
Yeah.
They didn't struggle to get all of those things.
Maria's journey just came out,
And that's what I'm looking at with this documentary. I want to see it. I want to see what we will do, what we're going to be, because I don't think we planned for
those moments that will run into your vein. Those videos you will see, those interviews that will make you, shed tears thereabout. That is what documentary is about.
Bring back that memory.
The Atlanta 96, the Olympic setup. If any Nigerian, whether young, old, grandpa, daddies, mommies, see that and do not have tears or close to being tearing down, then it's not a document, because that was an Olympics that none should forget in our history. I can remember 92 very well, but there is something about 96, and we should give it a befitting one. And going forward, like I do say, appreciation, recognition. You just mentioned go into every tournament feeling like something special will happen with this team. So you start your work, set up your team, and do better. But we're starting with this. And hopefully it goes well. It will continue to be inspiration to the younger coming. Since 96, we've started having Dream Team for football. Since 96, we've started having that highs on the Olympic team. There is always something mystical because of 96. And hopefully this time we'll surpass that. And if you're starting a documentary now, know that this setup that are going now should have a team following them to take those moments that is rare.
Those special. Okay, let's talk about Dream Team. Okay, all right. It's only the United States that I know that have a Dream Team, and the ones after them keep doing what the other ones did. It's not so with us. All right. Austin is close to where this is happening, so I'll yield to him. Of course, the IOC has its 142nd session, and of course, there'll be talks. In spite of everything, Thomas Bach kept on insisting that, look, France has everything covered, security, logistics, everything is okay. There's nothing to be worried about, and that this will be better than previous editions. And also, really, we have no reasons to doubt.
No reasons, Yemi. You see, I'm tired of talking about the will. Look at the president of France. Yemi is the one leading every high-level conversation about the Olympics. And in case someone is saying, oh, we are seeing Emmanuel Macron now because the Olympics is closed, that's a big lie. This man has been working since 2020. Did not just even stay with the Olympics, used the Olympics to market France, got into strategic partnerships with African countries. I'm not even talking about European or America or North America or something. African countries, even Nigeria, sent representatives because they know that from now till the end of the year, everyone that talks about France, no matter what France is doing now with the United Nations, with the economy, it won't be bigger than this Olympics. The entire world is on France. And that's why the president has said, look, it's an executive assignment. It's for the top. So he knows everything. Just yesterday, he hosted the media. Everybody that will cover the games met President Macron. He told them, because we know the importance of the media and everything. And that's why at this 142nd IOC session, he came there to listen, to be part of it, to tell these people that, look, we will help you fulfill your dream of achieving a spectacular 2024 Olympics. Let's listen to Thomas Bach. They said they want to do ×2 of what we saw at the Tokyo Olympics.
We are witnessing a new world order in the making. Historic disruptions are upending the system of international relations that has been in place since the Second World War. The trends are unfortunately clear. Decoupling of economies, beggar thy neighbor, narrow self-interests trumping the rule of law, global south versus global north. Everywhere you look, multilateralism is on the back foot. In this new world order, cooperation or compromise are sadly considered disparaging terms. These trends are deeply disturbing to us because they are going straight against our mission to unite.
I love it here. I mean, each time we talk about the Olympics, something comes to mind. It is the objective of making this world a united place. And there is nothing, I've looked at all the different tools in the world that we can use. There's no tool as powerful as using sports to make this world a better place.
I agree with you. There's no tool that has that power. All right, let's spend a few minutes we have on the show to talk about Team Nigeria and all the other news items that we have. Of course, it's cherry news. Tobi Amusan will be the athlete to be the flag bearer for Team Nigeria at the Olympics. And of course, Anolu Opayori will be the team captain. It is not surprising. We've seen United States picking LeBron James, Snoop Dogg also in. But for Nigeria, it's this lady. I mean, no argument. Our biggest sports icon, brightest medal prospect for now, it has to be said. All right. Let's quickly show to you the roster of Nigeria's female basketball team to the Olympics. That's our next spot of call. The roster is out. We already know the players that would represent Nigeria. So I'm going to go across in a bit to reel out those names of the players that will be on that squad so that we can quickly move on because of our time. Those names are there. The final roster of the Tigress, you have Ezine Kalu, she's in there. Amy Okonkwo, Promise Amukamara, Elizabeth Balogo. You have Tomi Taiwo Ofnaya Okoro also in that on that roster. You have Mojanatu Musa, Lauren Ebo, Blessing Ejiofor, Nicole Enabosi, and Adebola Adeyeye. So these are the names on that. Let's quickly look at the weightlifters. That's the next thing to look at the weightlifters. There you go. Rafiatou Lawal in the women's 59 kilogram category. Of course, just to let you know that Lawal won gold at the 2022 Commonwealth Games in the women's 59 kilogram category. Joy Eze, women's 71 kilogram category. Eze also won 3 gold medals at the 2023 African Games in March. All right, so some information regarding Nigerian athletes. All right, our last part of call is this information. Britain's Anne Murray has told the world that, of course, immediately after the Olympics, it will be calling it quits. And let me just quickly come to you before we yield to Austin and wrap things up. Did it come to you as a surprise? A lot of us thought it was going to be, well, it will have ended 3 years ago. Yeah. Somehow, he crawled, he did, and I'm inspired by the fact that he didn't allow whatever happened to him to stop him. He pushed on, and a fitting hand, 2-time Olympic champion Andy Murray, 3-time Grand Slam winner. I mean, what else can be said?
That's why I call him one of my best, Grand Slam winner, world #1 when it comes to tennis, because he's a man who clearly is a product of hard work. He never says never. There is something about Murray all through his career. He's not as talented as the other guys competed against. He's not as fancied. He goes out there, walk. And for everything he had achieved, he's at the point where nobody expected him to do that. That's why I love him so much. I thought, like you said, 3 years ago, with the hip problem, it's crazy because it wasn't working well. He wasn't standing well. We thought that was over. But he came back fighting and continues to be an inspiration. And I think what he wants to do with the Olympics, he wants to finish it in the colors of his country. This is what country means to so many persons out there. Yes, the country gives them a lot. That is why they feel this way. But that is the benchmark. You know you have a record fan every day when you perform for your nation. And for the UK, Andy Murray wants to say, in these colors, I got everything, and in these colors, I'm going to stop tennis. So, Andy Murray, I'll miss you. Kehinde Idris says that, and I want to see what's the next for your career.
Okay, all right. Austin, I mean, is this the British Andy Murray or the Scots? I don't know. But your thoughts on Andy Murray?
Well, I've been following local media, and they've been saying the Britain. I love his story, and just check out this timeline. He made his debut at the Olympics in Beijing 2008, and he lost in the first round to China's Lu Yanshun. And right after that, 4 years later, he was in the final at Wimbledon just before the London Olympics, and he lost to Federer. You know what? He picked himself back up and won gold at the London 2012 Olympics, and that was sweet victory for him because it was Roger Federer that he defeated. 2 years later, at the Rio 2016 Olympics, Murray defeated Juan Martin Del Potro to win another gold medal. So back-to-back Olympic medals, and some way, somehow, he has found a way to inspire himself. He will get very bad injuries. He's out there, trying to make people talk about the United Kingdom and tennis. I think he will be missed. I put on my socials that please don't go now, Murray. But he's 37, and when you don't have the consistency that you want to have as a professional, and each time you come to, play, you are not in the news for the right reasons. I just hope that whatever he's doing at the Paris Olympics, he ends on the podium. It will be a good way for him to say goodbye. But salute to Andy Murray. He's been there, done that, and he has been able to put his name in the history of tennis. And we love him so much for that. That's the show for me. In London, I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, Austin didn't have that. He shed tears. Maybe the tears was the turning point. Who knows? All right, before we go on with Kehinde Idris for his time on the show, hopefully we'll do this again some other time.
Of course, looking forward to the Olympics in 3 days.
All right, we leave you with some, of course, pictures, sights and sounds. The South Sudan Olympic team, they've touched down, and of course, they are an inspiration to the war-torn country. So I'll leave you with their reactions, their thoughts ahead of the Olympics. We urge you to have a good night rest. You see us again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.